everybody, it's Mary here, and tonight I'm going to talk about my top 10 favorite storage things so far in the new RV. So we're going to do a countdown from number 10 straight up to number 1. Hope you'll stick with us. It's going to be fun. Let's get this started. So one of our favorite storage tips that I have for you today is right here behind this pantry. So my husband and I enjoy a glass of wine on occasion. And in our pantry, we have these really great storage containers for wine. So we found these on Amazon. They're really great. They come apart. They're plastic, but they're a nice hard plastic. I put just some grippers in there just to keep the bottles of wine stationary, but they just stack right on top of each other like this. And we have room in this cabinet for 9 bottles of wine. So you can see most of those are pretty full right now, but this is one of our favorites. They're really inexpensive storage rack for wine. It'll ride really well. It will have a protective bar in front of it when we travel, but that is one of our favorite tips. Okay, so my next storage hack is right here in our basement. So my husband has some fishing poles. He used to keep them right here in this long storage tube, but we're thinking that's not going to be the most space efficient. So that tube is actually going to go back into our storage unit. And we got this really great holder off Amazon. So this mounted with just some screws right up at the top, right at the edge of our basement, or a garage, whatever you call that. And then you can see the poles go down here, and then a little bit more than halfway down, then it has this bracket as well, which mounted with screws again, and we could make sure that those poles stay stationary. Now we are going to get, we're thinking just to give some extra stability, about halfway between that one and the ends, we're going to add one more of those about halfway down just to give some extra stability to those poles. But this easily will hold 6 poles, and that'll be plenty for my husband to take with him and have whenever he wants to go fishing. So that's our next storage hack. So the next storage hack that I want to share with you is right here in our bathroom. So you can see in our bathroom, we have this really tall cabinet, which is great. It's got a great door on it. It's got 4 shelves, 3 of which are covered by the door. And then there's a 4th one down here that's not covered by the door. And you can see in this one, it's a really deep cabinet, which is fabulous. I love it because it gives us tons of storage. It's nice and tall. It's about 10 or 10 and a half inches wide, but it's super deep. And these go all the way back for all of them. Now, the challenge that we faced is when we went on our first, we moved it the first time, what I discovered was everything that was standing in those shelves ended up in the far back of this cabinet. On the first 2 layers or levels, not a big problem. On the top one, I couldn't reach the stuff. So I had to get a step stool to be able to reach all that stuff that went in the back. So I needed a way to keep the stuff kind of corralled in there so it wouldn't fly all over and end up in the back of the cabinet. So I just went to the Dollar General. I got these really inexpensive baskets. They're plastic, but they're pretty hard plastic. They fit easily in the cabinet. They're really tall, which is great, so you can put a lot of stuff in them. And you can see on this shelf, I have some hand towels and some washcloths, and there's still plenty of room in the back to put that one, which has medicines in it. And then on the top shelf, I'm actually able to fit 2 of them in there. So if you can see, there's 2 end to end. The first one, I just have makeup and things like that. In the back one, we have extra shower supplies, shampoos, things like that. But just a really inexpensive way to organize some really deep cabinets, keep everything in there from flying around, and it doesn't cost you hardly any money at all. So the next storage hack that I want to share with you is right here in the kitchen. And this cabinet right up here in our RV is where we store our spices, our baking goods, things like that. But this is what I wanted to focus on today. These little things are pretty amazing. So they come in long strips and you just cut them off to fit whatever size you need, however many would fit on your door. In our case, we just did 2 across for each one, but it has these little open hooks here, and your spices just fit right inside. So they're not falling around inside the cabinet, first of all, but they're also a lot easier to see and find the ones that you want. I have some here on the door, and then I have some taller ones inside. These little things come with double-sided tape on the back, or adhesive, so it sticks right to the cabinet. Really inexpensive. I think I got these, which is 8 that you see here, and I believe I have at least 4 more that I'm not currently using. I got all of them for less than $10 on Amazon. So that's another one of my favorite storage hacks. So my next storage hack is also in the kitchen. So when you have dishes, right, you're wanting to maximize your space, but you want to be able to really have access to those dishes. In the old RV, we just used to stack plates on top of small plates on top of plates and bowls on top of the small plates. And then when you would want to take something out, you'd have to remove all of them to get the one that you wanted. So I found this really inexpensive wire rack at Amazon. So I ordered it. It's a corner shelf, so it's really nice. It kind of fits back into the corner of this cabinet. It was an absolutely perfect fit. I couldn't have done any better. And I got to be honest, I did not measure it. So that was just a really lucky chance that I had. But this has 3 shelves. So I put my large plates here. I put my small plates here, bowls up on top. I did put, again, that rubber mat stuff on each of those shelves just so it won't move around. I've also kept the extra strips of this stuff. So if I feel like it's necessary, I can even put some strips in between each plate before traveling. But I've really loved this little inexpensive hack because it's so easy to just grab the plate you need and not have to move anything else in order to get what you're wanting. So just another great kitchen hack. So the next storage hack that I have for you is this little item right here. This is a little footstool that sits in our living room. It's not really big. It's about maybe 14 by 14 inches square. It's got a really soft fabric, so it's really great for putting your feet on the top of it. But the part that I love the most is that it is a little storage container. So this is where we store our throws, our little blankets that we like to use in the evening when we're just sitting in the RV. And if you need to make this thing smaller, it folds down into a really flat cube about that thick. So it's a really great little storage item. Blends in really good with your furniture, so it serves more than one purpose. Storage, footstool as well. It's even got little storage pockets on the outsides if you want to put remote controls in it. So that's another one of my favorite storage hacks. So the next storage hack that I have for you is right here in the bedroom. So we have this really great dresser in our bedroom. It's wonderful. But I don't know about you, but things start to get unorganized and tossed around in my drawers. So I found these 2 fun hacks on Amazon. So the first one is for socks. So it comes with this plastic sort of form. It looks a lot like a honeycomb. I can show you the one over here because it doesn't have as much in it right now. But it looks kind of like a honeycomb. You can form it together. It fit perfectly in my drawers. And this one we're using for socks, just to keep socks organized. In my drawers, they tend to get all on top of each other. I can't find the pair I'm looking for, so this way keeps everything organized. And then what we did with the other drawers, is this is a second type of plastic forms that we got. The thing that I love about these is it's kind of like erector sets. You can make it whatever size or shape you want it to be. This one just allows us to fold our unmentionables in the drawer and put them in there really neatly. And you can cut these, break these really by hand to fit whatever drawer size you have. These come in a box of a lot. I don't know exactly how many, but it's a lot from Amazon. And both of these were really inexpensive hacks just for organizing your drawers. So as I mentioned in the last hack, I use the amazing dresser, right? That's the benefits of being the female in the house. But my husband, we have this other cabinet in our RV in our bedroom. And this is plumbed for a washer dryer, but we did not have the washer dryer put in it because we didn't feel that we needed it. We really needed the storage more. So this is the area where my husband stores his clothes. But again, we wanted to make sure that things could stay organized. So I found this really great little item here at Lowe's. So it zips together. It's soft-sided. It's fabric. It's got a bottom in it, which is really great for this particular purpose because this didn't have separated space in it, right? It was just these large shelves. So we got this. We just roll up my husband's underwear. We've got his socks in here. We're actually going to get a second one so we can do the underwear and the socks separate. But it's a really great little item, and it's really super easy to bring in and out. So like on laundry day, we just slide it out, we fill it up, and we just put it in there so that he can easily grab that. So yet another way to maximize space in a closet. So my next storage hack is right here in the kitchen cabinet. And earlier I showed you the storage hacks that I was using in the bedroom to be able to separate different clothing items. Well, here's another use for that. I kind of alluded to it when we did the other one, but here's the other use for this. So like I said, you can put these together in any size or shape that you want. And the reason we're using them here in this cabinet is because this is actual glassware. I don't have a whole lot of it in my RV because it is heavy and it's breakable. But you know what? Every now and then you want a real glass. So we have 4 high or low balls here. We have 2 non-stemmed wine glasses, and then we have 2 stemmed wine glasses. The rest of our glasses, as you can see here, are plastic. But when you do want to have some glassware in your RV, this is a really great way that you can make these little barriers to fit whatever size glass you have. You just put them together and they'll store really nicely, and it will keep those glasses secure when you're riding down the road. We also added these rubber mats at the bottom just so nothing would move around in the cabinet when we are going down the road. That's another one of my favorite hacks. So my final hack is my favorite hack of all. So we have these really great cabinets in our RV, and you can see them here. They have glass fronts, and they are tinted, so it's a darker glass, but you could still see what was behind it, right? Or at least that there was things behind it. In this case, it was dishes and things. On the other side of the room, it was where I store some extra blankets and pillows. And I just didn't want that to be visible through the glass. The other thing that really kind of concerned me about these was they are glass. So what if something behind it would bump into it when we're going down the road? I didn't want to take a chance of that glass breaking. So I just had this idea, and I mentioned earlier that I had purchased this rubber stuff that you put in the bottom of your cabinets to keep things from moving around. Well, I cut it to fit just inside of it. Just put a few little dollops of hot glue along the edge, and glued that right inside of there. And it really did something that I thought was kind of cool. It served several purposes. So first of all, I feel like it gives a little bit of protection against that glass. So in case anything from the cabinet does bump against it, it won't crack or break the glass. The other thing that it did, which was the purpose for me doing it, was that it now makes that so you can't see what's behind the glass. So I love the fact that it now sort of gives you that barrier so people don't see what's in your cabinets. But the third thing that I did not expect, that I kind of love the most, is, I hope you can see it here, it now gives that glass sort of a textured look, right? So it sort of has this little basket weave look going with it that I really thought was kind of fun and was a nice little decor touch. So that is my 10th and final great storage hack. So those are my top 10 storage hacks so far in the new RV. Hope those were helpful to you. And as always, please follow us, like us, do all those really great things on Facebook, on Instagram, and on this YouTube channel. We are Hendrick Home on the Highway, and we'll see you down the road.